Racing, it's life. Anything that happens before or after, it's just waiting.
Hello and welcome everybody back once again to the SFRGT Challenge Round 6 here at Suzuka. We're coming down to the wire here. Got 2 rounds left of this wonderful, wonderful championship brought to you by SimStaff. Now, in case you guys have not heard, SimStaff is hiring and they're on the lookout for dedicated sim racers and sim enthusiasts just like you. If you'd like to join their team and ready to dive into the world of sim racing, apply now with the link in the description and tell them that SFRGT sent you. I'm Mike Nause in the booth here tonight, and joined with me is none other than Carson Kass. Carson, welcome.
Thank you very much, Mike. I'm happy to be here at the SFRGT Challenge every Friday. It's a wonderful race, and I'm very, very happy to be here. And tonight we've got an excellent track, like you mentioned, at Suzuka. So Soichiro Honda's 18-turn brainchild. It was once a testing track, and I'm very excited for the race here.
Absolutely. We've got 3.6 miles of action ahead of us here tonight. Qualifying is underway. We'll be jumping into that soon enough. But in the meantime, let's take a quick look at the standings here that we have. And as it stands, Lucas Costa, a bit of a one-horse race at the top here. But behind that, can't count out the Cavaliere Rampanti, the other horse of Marcos Vinicius. He is going to be a good 57 points behind here heading into the next few rounds. And Joel Bandera maybe a bit further out of that equation. But as we have it, let's head on now down into the qualifying, Carson.
Yeah, very technical track we have tonight at Suzuka, and the quali should be just like that. And Lucas Costa, obviously the favorite, as Lucas Costa is also the championship leader. He's, I believe, running a slightly different livery tonight. I don't think the red was on that car last time I saw him.
You might be right. That is a little bit of a different shade here tonight for the LCS McLaren. Currently on pole position. Behind that is going to be Marcos Vinicius in the number 17 Ferrari 296. Take a look at the times that they have on the board here. We got a 2-minute dead, 0.2. Marcos Vinicius 9/10 behind that.
Yeah, Costa and Vinicius, always 2 consistent drivers, have a pretty big margin of the cars behind. And there's no real competition past, obviously, Joe Bandera, who's doing an excellent job. Is 30 points ahead of a bunch of drivers all fighting, trying to reach Joe Bandera. Guilherme Pagani, Mohamed, and Irinu Eller. Very many apologies for that name, but they're all within 10 points of each other, and it's mainly because there's domination at the top and the points are real close at the bottom. So, you know, a lot of different individuals who are looking for points and looking for high places in the standings because there is some money on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the money that is on the line here, it is going to be a whopping $50 USD cash for the P1 at the end of the day. P2 will receive 30. Third will get 20. And on top of that, the top 10 will receive a 10% discount towards their Coach Dave Delta subscription bonuses for that as well. Thank you to Coach Dave for providing that. Setups as well from Jardier, as well as plenty of other features. A very palatable way to read your data. over at Coach Dave Delta. Check them out, link in the description as well. And bonus prizes, we have a random drawing that is going to be happening at the end of this championship for 2 drivers, and they will receive $20. They had to participate, though, in 6 races.
Yeah, coming to a close here, we've only, I believe, 1 more race the rest of the season. 2 more races, well, which is Coda, then the finale at the Nürburgring, which should be a very long 2 hours, but a very fun 2 hours on one of the most difficult tracks ever in the history of racing. But Suzuka, a very, very difficult one as well. Extremely technical, and you can just kind of look at the full map and very much guess that. A lot of hard right turns, a lot of hairpins, and a lot of fast turns, like turn 1 that Dubois runs in the Rockefeller Racing Aston Martin, and showing this is a very technical turn 1.
Yeah, he's gaining a good few tenths, though. 2 tenths up here out of the exit of the first corner. Why don't we pop on board here with the likes of Patrick? See what it's like behind the wheel of this Aston Martin.
Dubois has had some cruddy luck, I believe, for the last 2 races I was here at, but hoping for better luck here. And I remember at Silverstone was the subject of a very difficult lap 1.
So far into the Degnas, looking nice and comfortable. A little bit hesitant there into the second one. Maybe could have carried a bit more speed, and the Delta is going to reflect that. Drops 2 tenths. Big lift there. Slow is fast, though, for Patrick. That's always the key. Ooh, maybe not.
Ooh. Last thing you want to do is lose the car here as he hits this fast right-hander. It'll go down a very short straight, I guess I'll call it, into a faster left turn, which goes into another faster left turn, which should go to the long straight. And then the final few turns, which is not the casino corner and actually the Casio corner, I believe.
It is, in fact, the Casio Triangle, a very famous corner where, of course, back in the 70s, we saw well, I didn't. I wasn't alive. I mean, everyone's seen it, though, at this point. The great debate between the 2 legends, Ayrton Senna as well as Alain Prost, as they head down into this corner here. There was, of course, the championship decided there, and that was a very, very contentious one. And then, of course, the next year was decided into the first corner here on this track. So much history found at Suzuka, and it never lets down.
Yeah, the original founder of Honda initially made this track as a testing ground for his race cars, and it eventually evolved, and now you see it every year on the F1 calendar, and that's no different as, I guess, tomorrow, technically, and I guess Sunday for a few of us. The F1 race is going to be there.
Can't wait myself. Free practice looking very promising. I almost said free practice is looking qualifying. Anyways, not sure how that slipped up, but oof, Evilazio Silva slipping the rear end there through Spoon.
Mike, I can't help but notice those dark clouds. Is there any chance of rain for tonight's race?
Always a chance here in Suzuka. In terms of the radar, we're looking all right. Temperature's actually quite warm. It's just very humid and overcast.
Yeah, there's some weird weather in this game. I remember, like, I just don't get it. How could it be 28 degrees with this kind of weather? But I guess Japan's really humid. I've never been to Japan, believe it or not.
What do you mean? We're in Japan right now.
Oh, you're right.
Live
right.
from Suzuka, Japan.
Live from Suzuka, Japan. No
We're
booth.
here at the SFRGT Challenge, brought to you by SimStaff. No.
Yeah, if you watch Silva take this turn, you could see just barely on the left, that's me and Mike sitting in the kitty litter right there.
Actually, we're up in the top of I'm at the top right now on the what's it called? Ferris wheel. That's the word. Dang it.
Ferris wheel?
If only I'd forgotten.
Like it's a Ferris wheel.
Yeah. Ferris wheel?
You said Ferris.
There's no T at the end, huh?
No,
Yeah.
there's
The more you know, folks. The more you know.
There's no T.
The
Yeah,
Ferris
obviously,
wheel.
Scenes here. This track looks beautiful at night because that it's all lit up with LEDs, bright lights.
And Joe is who I'm going to call you in chat. Cheering on Marcos Vinicius. Appreciate you. Thanks for joining us. Hope everyone's having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. Going to be heading on into the race. Got 80 minutes ahead of us here tonight.
Yeah, these races go longer as the season goes on, and I guess that's good conditioning for the drivers as you go, but I believe most of these guys have done way longer races as 24 hours go on. Kind of, it feels like every other week I see a 24-hour race somewhere on SimGrid, but
Well,
a lot of
especially
these drivers
right
are
now.
conditions. Yeah, especially right now with a certain Central German track just dropping.
The endurance track, you might call it, has dropped.
Oh, man.
We got Rocky
That's what I love about
Rocco.
ACC.
He's let's try that again. We got Rocky Rocco. He's debuting his new livery here. The new Rockefeller Racing style on that 296 Cavallino Rampanti.
It's giving me kind of like Bang Energy vibes. It's
You
kind of the best
know?
way I can describe it.
That's actually not a bad shout. The pink and green kind of, and it needs a little bit of blue or something. Man, I haven't seen it. Or pink. Anyways, that stuff is liquid illicit substances, so
Caffeine. But very pretty logo. And obviously very pretty livery. Rocky Rocco from Rockefeller Racing. Always a great driver to have out on track. And his liveries just improve every week. I'm a very big livery connoisseur, if you know me. You've known me here long enough. And Matthias. I'm going to go Matthias. Let's go Marcus. Some Marcus support in the chat for the Prancing Stallion, currently in second, that just finished quali.
Marcos getting plenty of cheers here tonight from the Brazilian crowd. Obrigado. Guys, you can make fun of my terrible Portuguese, but that's all right. I try. Rocky Rocco here. Let's see if he can improve on his final lap. Coming through the final corner of the Casio Triangle. What's he got?
Evidently, not much. He's going to stay in that position there.
No, he's
He's,
not.
giving
Jumped
it
to
some-
P3.
Did he? Oh, whoops. Jumped to P3. He definitely a lot more than I was saying. My goodness. So sorry, Rocky Rocco. I was thinking about how American your name was. But very, very good one. Flashes the lights at us. Great pace from him. He's very fast today.
Been practicing. He finally gets to unleash it. He's got his Steam account back. He's dangerous when he gets that.
What did
He lost his
Rocky
Steam
lose
account
his
last
Steam
week.
account?
Yeah, he got it back though. He's all good. Everything's all good. You gotta love, terrible humans and stuff like that.
Yeah, it definitely happens. I was off the grid, so kind of out of it for a week, but I'm very, very happy to be back for the SFRGT challenge, as I'm going to keep saying the name so I get it right. Don't call it the SOR challenge or whatever I called it last time. Either way, very, very fun racing here, very, very contentious racing, and a lot of good drivers, as you're about to see, and you can already see if you've noticed anybody, Lucas Costa, who got fourth one time, and that's the worst he's finished all year. And it wasn't even an actual race. It was the preseason race. Sorry.
Yeah, dominance is a bit of an understatement. When, as Carson said before the stream started, when your best result is a dropped P1, you know you're sitting in a decent spot heading into the 6th round of the championship. And yeah, I think that's fairly true for him. He's looking comfortable. He's got some room for error. He can even drop around to be complete. He literally could probably go to next week and then not show up for the final round. And he would definitely be okay because of a drop round. So Lucas is looking pretty strong in the championship. We can head on over, take a look at that real quick. What the standings are looking like, that is as it lies currently.
If you look towards the bottom, you see the only driver this year that has beat him in the regular season is Ricardo Rivera, who raced one singular race, pulled twice, and beat him twice. And that is, really impressive from Rivera, but he's not been here any other week, so pretty interesting.
Indeed, and hopefully we see him as a return, but as it stands, the grid has been set. Let's head on down to the action here and take a look at what is ahead of us here tonight.
Our first overall driver, and first in the championship, and first overall on pole, Lucas Costa in the LCS McLaren machine, that number 90 car. Second car is Marcos Vinicius, the prancing horse, in the really long racing Brazilian, very fast Brazilians in this championship, the 17 car. Behind him, Rocky Rocco from Rockefeller Racing. Steam account is back. That number 647 car, Joel Bandera in the Dylan machine. Behind him is Guilherme Pagani. I really hope I got that right. And the Clube dos Ferraras. Mike just stole from me. Academy car, 44. And Mohamoud in 6 with the Mantha EMA, number 5 car. Miles Jr., the 83 car, another Brazilian. Ivalazio Silva, I really hope I got that name. It's a really pretty name, beautiful name. 38 car, and Irienu Eller. I think that's right. Todd Tillery in the Tango 13 Racing.
And bringing up P11 is going to be Patrick Dubois in the number 87 Rockefeller Racing, with Anthony Macho Man Camacho in 12th for the number 7 S&B, and Mike Gravelle bringing up the back of the grid here, last but not least, of course, and first in our hearts for the number 30 Porsche Motorsports 992.
Yeah, I always mention it every week for him. What a pretty livery that car is, man. It's my personal favorite out there tonight. But I don't make bias based on livery. I don't have any bias. I'm here for the racing. But Lucas Costa has done a whole lot of winning racing here, and I'm curious to see if an hour and 20 minutes deters him at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure an hour and 20 minutes is going to stop this man. I don't think anything is, quite frankly. We can see the pull away here. It's going to be quite a long outlap. 3.6 miles ahead of us here. This track founded back in 1962 and unchanged since 83. And it hopefully will stay that way for the rest of eternity. It's an amazing track, one of my all-time favorites. The only figure 8 track in ACC, and it is wonderful.
And designed by John Hans Hugenholtz. One of the most iconic features of this track is its figure 8 layout with the tunnel, which I don't think you see anywhere else in the world. And you mentioned, I don't even know how you would change something like that. That tunnel should stay for the rest of the time, and boy, I hope it does.
Did you just say the man that developed this track's last name is Hugenholtz?
Heck yeah, it is.
A Dutch man designed a Japanese track. You love to see it. I mean, the Dutch got it right before, so Zandvoort, they nailed it.
Yeah. I mean, it is very, if you look at it, it's got a lot of Zandvoort-like curves, I'm going to almost call them, where it's very fast corners followed by very technical corners, and it's super, super interesting kind of how that goes on. But a lot of Dutch people doing it right back then, doing it right now.
Did he? Chat.
He designed.
Did he design Zandvoort? Because he has a corner named after him on Zandvoort. I had to double check that. I thought that was the case, and I didn't want to say it. But Hugenholtz is the hairpin turn 3.
Suzuka, Zolder, Hockenheim, part of Hockenheim, Jarma in Spain. I don't know what that is, unfortunately. Ontario Motor Speedway, which is an oval. And a few others.
This bro just is around designing like some brilliant tracks just throughout his history. Cool. Well, good to know about him. What'd you say his first name was?
John Hugenholtz.
John, okay. John Hugenholtz. Fair enough.
That's not his first name. I just really wanted to say Hugenholtz again. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay.
He also... If you are familiar with the Delfino machine, that car that kind of looked like an Apple iPhone is the best way I can describe it. I've seen that quite a bit. I don't know why I know a lot about it, but he helped design that.
He's a livery designer too.
Car nerds. No, that car is completely white, unfortunately.
Oh.
It's got, I mean, it looks like an Apple iPhone is the best way I can describe it. If you've seen the back of one of those. Oh, man. I always forget. Porsche's out there, man. Every Porsche on this track has fire liveries. I
love this S&B.
I have to say that, man. It's so good. The half and half cars, my goodness.
Mike Gravelle trying to get his livery into that lip. Don't worry, Mike. We'll get you later.
Yeah, Mike's got a beautiful car. I already mentioned it. Shake and Bake on the wing. I don't even know what that's for. Oh, it's Shake and Bake Racing. Oh, come on, Carson.
Oh, that's what S&B stands for. Honestly, yeah. I just kind of caught that myself.
Well, I just read it, and I was like, oh, it says Shake and Bake on the wing. Wonder why. But I believe they're going to go double file into this corner here, and is that a Tiger Mercedes? I didn't even realize that.
Is that, who's that going to be?
Tillery.
That'll be Tillery, Todd Tillery here. The Tango 13. I think that might be a base livery.
Huh. Cool livery, either way.
As it stands, though, welcome along everyone in chat. Anderson Silva.
With the final turn the Cassia Triangle into the last curve. One of the most historic tracks in history. Ahead of us, leading the pack, Lucas Costa in the LCS Racing Machine. I am Carson Kass. In the booth with me, Mike Nause.
You timed it great.
That
there.
wasn't the line. That wasn't the line. Still Carson Kass. Still Mike Nause in the booth. So we approach the restart line. And it's green, green, green. Flags down. Lucas Costa is away. Not leading the pack. It's Vinicius who gets the better start into turn 1. The first corner, he's going to have the outside line, and Lucas Costas rockets ahead, taking it way better on a way better line than he is. Behind them, Rocco tries to get Vinicius on that shorter turn. He had a better line, but cars around them are forming and making into that single pack, into the top 5. Mohamed, I believe, gets a position there, or is trying to keep Junior away from his. Moving down through the snake turns into Dunlop, a very, very difficult turn, which can be taken not very too wide very well, as ahead of them, Bandera stays ahead of Pagani, who tries to attack on the other side. Hamoud back there. Bandera just ahead. Nearly had a car around. Is Mohamed still in the front of the cars? A lot of single file racing here.
Indeed, Mohamed there. He was a fighter at the beginning, but unfortunately Miles Jr. managed to catch that out of him through the S's. Such a tricky overtake to make as well. Into the hairpin, we see Rocky go a little bit deep. That's going to allow Joel there to gain onto his back bumper relatively quickly, and that's going to push those top 2 away. Lucas Costa had a bit of a poor start, to be completely honest, but with a commanding amount of brakes into the first corner, he takes it back from Marcos. It's pretty hard to be dethroned from that inside line.
Yeah, real late and better line from Rocco there. Going to be just the formula to get out is, I believe, looking on the track, Gravelle might have had a big problem there. He's a significant portion behind the last driver. Either way, Joel Bandera, faster car, making it move on the right side. It's going to be a dangerous turn. This is not a great place to overtake. We'll see how it works for him, though, into... I'll turn... Oh, it'll work out. Potentially, no. Rocco goes way wide, but he's not going to be able there. It's going to be contact as they both spin. Cars dodging, avoiding, trying to get past it. Bandera manages to keep it ahead, keep it on track, and keep it forward in 5th. Same position, but 2 cars pass him, and Rocco from Rockefeller Racing is in last place.
Oh, Rocco
behind
plummets
Gravello.
like a rock.
Oh, no. Down the cliff to Rocco bottom. Oh, no.
Man, that was unfortunate. Rocky there through 130R, you could see he caught some grass on the inside when he came in, and that sent him wide into the, or out of 130R. And then heading on into the Casio triangle, he really didn't want to give that position up, went a little bit too late on the brakes, and unfortunately Joel Bandera felt his wrath, but only for a moment. And, well, Rocky was the one that, as we said, fell like a rock, and is now all the way at rock bottom.
Yeah, Joe Bandera, not really too bad for him. Lost 2 positions back where he started, but the 2 cars ahead of him, rather, qualified slower than him, so could potentially get that lead back as he hawks down Miles Jr. A much, much better turn. Miles Jr. went deep into this hairpin here. They're going to have an opportunity to overtake Miles Jr. way down, like way late on the brakes for him, or for Bandera. But he's going to be very, very wide, and he's actually going to get under pressure now from Bandera on his left, or, oh gosh, Hamoud on his left side.
I wonder if Joel has some damage there on his rear diffuser. He definitely looks like he's lost some pace here at this point of the race, especially the McLaren. It's so easy, as from a light tap in the rear is all it takes, and that diffuser gets a little bit of damage. One of those winglets break off, and your day is essentially over. I mean, not as so. You can still nurse your way through it, but you can see there's something either mentally or physically wrong with the car there of Joel Bandera.
Yeah, getting hit like that can really ruin your race, and especially if you're holding onto the wheel, it can be mentally demeaning too. But a lot of pressure from cars behind. He'll try and keep ahead as Patrick Dubois threatens the Porsche ahead in his Aston Martin. Eller trying to defend here, going to go way inside as he's going to stay ahead through Casio and keep it straight. It'll be better on the, come down to the straight line speed.
Yeah, Patrick thought about it there. He has the pace. Last lap, it was a little bit slower for him, but now as we head to the line here, it's a 2:04.3 and a 2:04.4 actually for Patrick, so he was slower this lap, but he does have the pace. He's keeping it consistent, keeping that gap tight, and you can see, especially on the brakes, he has the confidence. Oof, the back end though.
Back end wasn't very confident there. Slid it, kept it on the track. Not going to lose too much time there. I think Eller also had a slip a little bit there, so mutual slip, and it's going to really just come down to confidence here at Suzuka. With an hour and 20 minutes, it's going to come down to strategy a bit more, but Miles Jr. pressuring that car ahead, trying to get on the podium after starting in 6th, trying to capitalize on the opportunity of the 2 drivers ahead crashing.
Yeah, Guilherme Pagani through the Degnas, feeling it here, and this is where it's so easy to be pressured into a mistake. You can see he makes a slight one there. That's going to give him a terrible run, heading down to the Dunlop S's, which might leave it open, but he covers the inside.
Miles Jr. all over that back bumper. Going to come down to this exit here into another technical set of turns that are very hard to take side by side. I would not be surprised if Miles Jr. goes for a better exit through this next section. We'll have to see, though. Loses a bit of time on that exit. That Aston Martin has, I believe, better straight line speed. You know the car is much better than me, Mike.
Yeah, Porsche, not quick. Aston Martin, very. It's a general rule of thumb. Porsche is one of the slower cars. It's got that flat 6-boxer engine all the way in the back. Not necessarily known for making the torques or making the horsepower, but it is, well, okay, let me correct myself. It's known for making the torques. It's not known for making the horsepower.
You say that as Hamoud just absolutely shut a gap between him and the Porsche ahead and the Aston Martin ahead. That was... I don't even know what happened there. Hamoud's car just was in 7th gear. That was incredible. I've seen Slipstream, but I didn't even know.
So that's
that prevalent in this game.
A great example of a cumulative slipstream, where basically the car behind him will have, or the car behind Pagani will have an advantage in Miles Jr., but Mo Hamoud has that effect amplified because there are basically 2 big holes being punched in the air. NASCAR is where you really will see that effect coming into play. In the cars punching massive holes in the air, and that is when the air starts to even push your car around, and you'll really start to feel it at that point. The car might be, it's very, very hard to handle, especially through 130R.
Yeah, definitely. Still some time before NASCAR gets to Suzuka, though. That might happen.
That would be the day.
That would be certainly something I'd be tuning in for, no matter how late. But Miles Jr. still trying to not let that car behind. And, I mean, if he can catch up, it'll be much more difficult for Porsche. There is, honestly, if I'm Pagani, I'm just kind of hoping Hamoud catches up to Jr.
Yeah, you can see these guys keeping the gaps consistent at this stage of the race. Consistently 1 second throughout behind, basically, or within a second, I should say. And especially these guys keeping each other honest here. They all have 1 mandatory pit stop to be served with 25 fixed fueling. And 5 additional seconds if they would like tires, but it is not required, though I would expect them to be taking that here tonight.
Just as a general question, I don't believe, has Rocco, Camacho, and Gravel all pitted, or are they just 100 seconds behind?
I think your game, or your client has decided to not work properly, which happens from time to time.
Well, no, look at the top left. It's our, oh, never mind. You know what? Yeah. As soon as I get to say it, it's just...
it's all good. It happens.
I was just a little confused. I didn't know if they were a full lap down there, but Miles Jr. going to get an opportunity here as Aston Martin goes a bit wide. The Casio triangle. Hamoud hot on his tail, but behind them, is that a car right next to Silva? I think Silva is getting pressured onto the straight.
Yeah, Joel Bandera coming back at it, and the Dylan.
It's Joe Bandera, the damaged Dylan. Hopefully, it doesn't have too much damage for his race. It'd be rough to get damaged lap 1 of an hour and 20-minute race, but it definitely happens. You don't win the race on the first lap, but you can certainly lose it. But sometimes it just happens. You don't really mean to. Kind of out of it, and you just miss your braking zone and hit a piece of grass. And for Rocky Rocco, very experienced driver, as I understand, I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure he's not too rattled.
Yeah, he's one to move on from that and get to the next one, and he's making ground up too. That's the thing, pushing the pace on. You know, Rocky, he's one to never give up. One thing on his car here that I'd like to point out, so it's a brilliant livery, the F breast cancer, but of course it has over at Rockefeller Racing as well as here at SFRGT Challenge. One of the biggest messages that we like to promote, of course, is that anxiety and depression is, you know, something that everybody struggles with throughout their lives, and don't ever be scared to ask for help. And Rocky never will give up, so don't worry about him. He's going to keep pushing on here tonight in this race and carry on.
Yeah, to sort of preach to that, it is a super important topic, and, you know, just, I would very much look into that cause and donate to it. I believe that is a cause they run. I could be totally wrong. Either way, go support the cause. It's a super important thing to do. And Rocky Rocco doing well by supporting that. And hopefully doing well for the rest of the night. He's already made up 2 positions, Camacho and Gravel behind him.
Yeah, it's not always about the numeric support or the monetary support. It's also just about being there, you know, for the people that need you the most at the right times, and being that ear. So always keep an eye out for your friends, for your family. Little message of the day as we see Todd Tillery go deep through the final chicane. He was making good progress onto Patrick Dubois. Seems that that's been undone. Yeah,
the Jungle Cat. They're unable to pounce on that opportunity for the Aston Martin ahead. But shouldn't be too difficult here. He's got a lot of opportunities for an hour and 10 minutes. Goes wide, but you know what? Maybe Dubois goes wide in the next 69 minutes.
It's very possible. Anything can happen in racing, and it normally does, Carson.
That is true. And what I am hoping for tonight is some rain, because if anything would happen, I'd like it to be some interesting pit strategies. And as you see, no chance for the next 30 minutes. But we've got... Excuse me. We've got much more than 30 minutes to go.
Yeah, unlikely, but hopefully. Also, I see we got a Brazilian flag there in chat from Silva. He's going to be cheering on, I would imagine, Ivalazio here. Anderson Silva. Also cheering on the current race leader, who we have not mentioned too much. We'll bring a mention there in a moment, but something has heated up here. Miles Jr. has slipped into the grips here of Mohamed.
Yes, this Pagani Jr. Hamoud battle, all for that final podium position, as it kind of feels like some of these guys, that's all they're racing for. If you look towards that map, a full turn ahead the leaders are right now. But yeah, Mohamed has been getting that double slipstream. It's been working well. But Lucas Costa, oh my gosh, so far ahead of the car behind, and that car is so far ahead of the pack. Marcos, Vinicius, and Costa, very, very good this year.
Yeah, it is. It's, yeah, a bit of a 2-horse race up at the front. There's no denying that. And, I mean, to be fair, that's just going to be putting it on to the SFR drivers next season as, whoa, Pagani needs to be really careful there, putting that tire into the grass. That can result very easily in a spin.
Yeah, and you know I don't like putting my tires in the grass. It's a very dangerous thing to do, but on this straightaway speed, Aston Martin's got the speed, but the Porsche's got a better run. It's going to come down to this first corner, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them go side by side. Pagani taking that inside line. It's the better line. Junior on his left. Diving in, Junior's late on the brakes. Pagani gets a better run. He'll likely tuck in right behind. Yes, he will. Pagani stays ahead. But through the snake, it's going to be a little difficult. These S corners are monsters.
Miles Jr. is thinking about sending it in the S's. Oh my goodness, I just about lost it. That would have been a bold... He's thinking about it again. He's going for it, in fact, and there's contact.
Ooh.
Oh, that's going to happen every single time, Miles.
Yeah, Miles saves the car there, but you cannot do that. Unfortunately, that snake turn bit the Pagani car there. A lot of venom
back and watch it.
In there.
Let's see. So we're in the S's here. You can see the gaps open. And to be fair, the 44 left the spot. There is room alongside. That may be deemed a racing incident, but you really just, there's no need to be going for an overtake there. That'll be on the stewards. I mean, just plain and simple. That'll be a tough one for the stewards to call.
Yeah, we're a lot of things in this booth. We're not stewards, so I believe that'll be in their Discord server at the end of the race. I'm not sure if it's live or post-race stewarding, but yeah, definitely went for the stewards and not us, as that is going to give Junior the final podium spot for now. A little bit of Tokyo drift, or Suzuka drift, I should say, on that end. He did save the car extremely well, despite what happened.
And Silva, I'm not completely sure what you mean on that. Apologies. Also, welcome Jesus Gomez joining us here tonight, cheering on Luis Costa. Good old Luis Costa at the front. Doing his best Hamilton impression back in 2018. He is just gone.
I believe Transmissiaso.
Oh my goodness,
oh my gosh.
Has just binned it, and he's making his pit stop earlier than he expected. What happened here? Was this an unforced error? I was looking at the other monitor. Let's see. So Joel Bandera into the final corner, rides that inside curb, Looking good so far, but the car starts to turn and it doesn't stop. Clatters the inside pit wall.
Yeah, he definitely did a great job avoiding the head-on incident there, but that is real bad damage for Bandera, who I believe was probably going to already have to fix some. He'll be the first stop of the night. And hopefully that won't be his final stop, but oh my goodness, I'm looking at Google Translate, and I turn back, and Bandera's sideways in the pits.
I was also doing the exact same thing, Carson, actually, now that you mention it.
That means show me the stream.
Yeah, I'm not complete. I think there's a little translation issue there. Show me is probably not what he meant, but yeah. Be very curious what you mean by that, Silva. If you want to see Lucas, we can show you a little Lucas. Actually, hold up. What's happened to Anthony Camacho in the S&B? Before we get to that, we'll get to Lucas in a moment. As this is going to be... Oh, no. Just the most unfortunate of errors, and it's so slow and drawn out. And Anthony Camacho, no damage picked up. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's definitely not a spot you want to be in.
Yeah, guess probably some mental damage for the shake and bake racing machine. That is not what you want to deal with. Two wheels of the car on the grass, and that's a bit rough. As Silva kind of hawking down Junior here. He got around to Mood at some point. He's looking to make quick work of this Porsche ahead.
Yeah, he is. Let's get on board, though, with our race leader at the moment. If I can click the right camera. Into the first corner. Gotta pitch it in there down in the third gear as you approach the second apex here. It's a double apex first corner. Ease back onto the throttle. Now looking for that turn 2. Short shift to fourth there and down into third. Interesting. That must be the way to do it because Lucas is quicker than me, but I would not take that line that way, but fair enough. Nice and easy. Ride third gear out. That's expected. Ride third gear all the way through here. You're going to short shift up to fourth, though, coming out of this corner. Nicely done. Now accelerating towards the Degnas, looking for that braking marker at the 50. Down into third again. A little bit deep there. Down into second. Picking back up as the car gets loose again.
No tension. I mean, if Lucas Costa's doing it, you're right. He's going to do it. Slows down into first gear. Obviously, it's the hairpin. Gets it just right. And he's going to get out of that pretty fast, handling some oversteer on that car.
Lucas heading now towards Spoon Corner. This is where you really make or break the tenths here. Oh,
really
oh, that's great. No, we're great. We're great. Wait, no, he's invalid. Never mind. It's an invalid, but that's okay.
I was going to say you could definitely scoop up some out of the track penalties. I did that here many a time. But Spoon Corner, not an easy one. Costa making the save look easy as pie, though, as he now hits this fast section, moving to his left. Ugh. Sixth gear, that's always going to be terrifying. Moving down now to Casio Triangle. And he won't need any luck despite me calling it Casino Triangle the last time we were here.
Now all the dice are here for Lucas tonight, and hopefully they stay that way. As he's running up at the top. Crest that hour mark. And he will be lapping at a 2 minute 0.6. And Trangisi? I know. Unfortunately, I know.
Yeah, I was going to mention that,
Albert.
and I just, it was interesting, but yeah, welcome. And Lucas Costa, little Alonso reference here, Lucas Costa is faster than you, is the best way I can just kind of put how he's been driving recently. Evalazio Silva in the car here, lost a bunch of time to Junior at some point. Hamoud now picking the pace up behind him, as he's, no, that was intentional. Never mind. That was intentional. But I assume he's lost the car. Silva has had some issues with lower TC and the car sliding around a bunch. I would guess that something has happened, but nothing severe, as you can see. Still in that race and still in that fourth slot.
Rocky Rocco's picked up the back bumper here of Todd Tillery. Looking like he maybe wants to make that another position gained. 2.5 seconds up the road from these guys is going to be Patrick Dubois. The gap staying consistent amongst everybody still. That 2.5 second gap, everyone's spreading out evenly, which is going to be allowing these opportunities here for the likes of Rocky who at one point here was in last.
Yeah, Rocco, 3rd to 13th, back to 8th. Could we jump on board with Rocky? Because I feel like he's driving this car. I'm seeing it whip around. He is really, really going for it. But he is faster than all these drivers. He qualified above all of these. And Tillery in that Tiger Mercedes is going to be trying to get down as he goes wide into the spoon. He tries to scoop up a position here. Won't happen there. It might happen on the right in the next lap, though, through the straight and his fast left-hander coming up.
That's going to be a very welcoming sight there for Rocky, seeing Todd Tillery run wide. Now as we head towards 130R, this is where we saw him lose it earlier. You can see he's learned from his mistakes and dialed it back a notch. Down to first gear here for the final corner, or corner complex.
Definitely gained time on that Mercedes ahead. And all around the track, not a lot of battles going on particularly, but a lot of interesting storylines. Rocco trying to make his way back. And honestly, with as much time as we have, I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in that 3rd slot that Miles Jr. currently occupies.
That'd be a stretch, but it is definitely possible. Lap times alone, let's take a look purely at that. We're seeing a 202.9 from Rocky. Actually, Todd's a little bit quicker last lap. He's found some pace since he's been pressured here, even with that mistake. It's actually quite impressive. Patrick Dubois, 206, or 202.6, and 202.0 from Mo Hamoud. So Mo is actually, he's flying right now. But Ivalazio, not so much, 203.3.
Yeah, Rocky, as you said, that snuck right up to the back bumper of that Mercedes during that section. He is absolutely flying through there. I assume that's where he's getting a lot of time in this Mercedes. And Mercedes goes wide, I believe, through that corner. Rocco, though, on the prowl, just hawking down this Tiger in front. On that right side, he's going to try around. He's going to force me going around. Takes the inside line once again. The switchback, not going to go. He doesn't opt for it.
Pretty tough to line up a switchback on the exit here heading into 200R. You really just want to bide your time, wait. Your best opportunities of overtaking are going to be into that Casio triangle or into the first corner. The inside line for the first corner, and honestly, you can make either work for the Casio triangle. You just got to be confident enough.
Yeah, what you really do not want to do is try and make it work in 130R, because you will end up in that wall. It can work, but there's not much room for error.
No, it's certainly spectacular when you do make a pass there, but yes, the amount of times that successful passes versus unsuccessful, I think the ratio probably lies more towards the unsuccessful side.
Yeah, you're going very, very fast in a very technical corner, and you are very likely to end up in the wall.
The biggest thing is for the driver following is that dirty air. It's so hard to stay behind somebody, but this is just abysmal exit for the likes of Todd Tillery here, and he is going to be swamped up by this 296 before they even reach the braking zone.
Yeah, I was going to say Rocco is going to have the outside line, but he's so fast, he's going to get the inside line. He'll make quick work of Tillery and hopes to make the Tiger in the rearview mirror much smaller as he now chases Dubois, one of his own drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. The Rocco the Rockefeller Racing rivalry, Triple R, or will it be Team Orders? World may never know, or it may in the next couple minutes. We'll find out. At the moment, though, Mo Hamoud and Ivalazio Silva having a little bit of fun themselves. Ivalazio, though, kind of messes up Degna 1.
Yeah, the Canadian on the back bumper here of the Ferrari. He's going to have a good opportunity in this hairpin if he wants to try and make it work. Not good, but certainly has a great chance, and he will do it. At least Silva is going to have a little bit of low exit. Well, attempt it. Sorry, I meant attempt it.
Silva electing for the faster line. Looks like Joel Bandera has a yellow flag facing the incorrect direction here. No, he's managed to get it the right. Let's see what happened. Oh, it's happened a while ago. I predict, though, that is a... He's in a weird spot.
Yeah.
Is he in the S's?
He's right in Casio.
He's in
Triangle.
Degna.
Is he?
No, is that the first Degna? Where is it?
That's Casio.
Is it? I can't tell, honestly. It looks like it, but I can't tell.
It is. He's at the first short line now. Yeah, I don't know how you do that. Maybe he spun out after 130R, but in our time, Moy Hamoud has not made the overtake. He goes through Casio, hawking down that back bumper of Silva, who's hoping to get the better exit, and it won't be much harder in that car.
And Albert complaining that number 44 took your number. Well, you got to be in the league first for it to take your number. Can't steal something that isn't rightfully yours.
Yeah, it's very hard to have something when you're not there at all. But the 44 number is a very successful number. Thinking of a certain individual,
quite the successful
who's going to be racing here tomorrow.
A good number. I don't mind it.
Yeah, Mood is gaining tons of time through the snake. He's going to have an opportunity here. He's on the back bumper of Silva. He's definitely being slowed down. Don't want to get around immediately, but at Suzuka, there's overtake opportunities, but there's not a lot of safe overtake opportunities, and one of them, if you're faster in the straight, is going to come here. He'll have that outside line. Try and make it towards the inside. As Silva goes a bit deep, Hamoud not going to have enough speed to meet him, though. And they'll go to the hairpin with that prancing horse still ahead.
Yeah, you're going to need a hope and a prayer to make an overtake happen through Degna. It's going to be doable through the Dunlop hairpin. We see the Porsche try to take that inside line every time and get a punchier exit, but he lights his wheels up every single time, and it's so consistent. That Ferrari's is too quick in a straight line, really.
Yeah, Hamoud definitely could get a little forward here. He's very, very fast and all over the back bumper of Silva. To be honest, the prancing horse, prancing fourth. That's what I will think will go on here for a while until you can get a good opportunity, but Hamoud needs to do a little better on that hairpin exit. He needs to do a lot better on the straightaway exit, but that Porsche is going to be very, very hard to find a better exit. Because we're going to jump on board as he goes through one of the most dangerous turns on this track. 130R, and he catches a little bit of a lawn mown.
Mohamed with a switchback attempt. He's going to get a good exit, but this is where... Whoa, the Ferrari's into pits. Okay, never mind. Wow, I wasn't expecting that, and I do not think Mo was either.
Yeah, sometimes when you see people dive in the pits on a broadcast, I always think that it's just like their race is over. They just have decided to drive into a wall, but Silva, much more skilled than my eyes, it seems, dives into the pits. He'll be our second individual to pit, I believe, so far.
Interesting strategy.
Is there a required amount of pits tonight? I assume it's just one.
Just one. One mandatory pit stop, and fuel is only required for fixed 25 seconds.
I would guess tires would make sense with this much time, 52 minutes left, but Hamoud going to have fourth for now. Silva going to come out of pits just in a few moments. Looks like he's taking tires, how long he's been in the pits, but
it's hard to say. It's only a 5-second difference to take tires, so we're going to see pretty much every car is going to take tires. I don't like the strategy at all, though, from Silva. Just myself. Also, Trangisi, I was in the league. Yeah, obviously you're in the league. You're a previous champion. Season 3 champion, in case you're curious. But had to be on a tight schedule due to school lately. We're going to be on the P-Cup grind, though, for Tracky. Let's go. So heading over to Trackalicious for the P-Cup. Unfortunately, that one will not be streamed, but I hope to see you out in the GT3s as well. That'd be sick. And I'm going to be heading out. Have a great night. Trangisi, you as well.
Yeah, reigning champion. Have a great night, obviously. And I understand the school part. I think I'm going to understand it a lot better in about 4 months, though. Tillery. I really do wonder if that's an in-the-game livery, because now I want to see that car in real life.
I feel like I have, but I don't know. Maybe not. It looks too... It looks like an in-game livery, but it also doesn't, you know? Like, it's
the Amazon throws me off, because I don't know if I've ever seen Amazon sponsor a GT car.
Yeah, AWS, they do. They have AWS stuff on there, I think. Huh. The Yokohama on the AMG, I know that's also... That seems... And the Motul. All of these seem accurate. Like, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but the Total Energies is the one that throws me off. That's the only one that I just don't believe.
Yeah, well... Maybe Todd Tillery is, either way, whoever made that logo, whether it is a person in real life in a real life car driving, or Todd Tillery, or someone Todd Tillery knows, it's a very good livery, and Pagani is getting a pretty good look at it as he approaches that back bumper.
Yeah, he is. Currently about half a tenth behind. Last lap was much better, an entire second quicker for Pagani. Yeah,
Pagani losing some time there, I believe, in that corner, but will definitely have an opportunity if he can keep that pace up from the car in front, as he's running pretty similar to his quality pace, actually. Now that I remember it, I'm not sure what his exact time was, but he's looking rapid compared to that Mercedes, I say, as he loses a lot of time through Sector 1, but he'll have a lot of race left to go.
But you say that, right? And the reason is, just for anyone curious, like, well, why does that Porsche, for example, gain so much on the Ferrari and the S's, and why does the Aston Martin fall back so much on the S's but then gain on the straight? Well, it's because these cars, they're all different, right? So you have an Aston Martin versus an AMG, a Porsche versus a Ferrari. They're all different cars. They all have different specs, different weights, different accelerations and power. So they're all better in different parts of the tracks. They're all even in their own ways, but in terms of, for example, the first sector, you're going to be requiring a heavy downforce setup. So you put a lot of wing on that car, you're going to have a very successful Sector 1, but a not great Sector 3. So you're going to be compromising one part of the track and gaining on another.
That's the beauty of tracks like Suzuka, too. There's so much difference and so much different, like, I guess the best way to describe it is difference in the track and how it's run. You see long straightaways combined with tight, precise turns, as well as turns like the S's that are a bit faster, just as precise. You see turns like turn 1, and every single car has an advantage here in some way, shape, or form. Well, not every car in the game, but every car on the track definitely has somewhere where it does better than every other car.
And obviously, some cars are just better than others. I mean, that's obvious. That's why we've recently seen the insurgence of mostly McLarens, Ferraris, and Porsches. I think that's been the meta. But as of 1.10, I've seen it shake up a little bit. I know the LFM BOP has helped out as well. We are running the LFM BOP here tonight. And I can hit the tab button at any time to see the ballast, apparently. I don't see the ballast, so I don't think that's true. That'd be nice, though. I wish I did, but I was told I could do that.
Fortunately, you cannot do that, it seems, but ballast definitely change how the cars perform, and it makes them a little bit more even, but it sometimes can make a car definitely a bit better in certain areas than it should be. But, yeah, they do a really good job.
BOPs are always going to make the car worse. That's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how we get it all equal. And the McLaren, for example, just requires maybe a little bit more BOP than others.
Yeah, McLaren, they made a very, very good car, and the ACC developers made it very, very good. That's kind of the best way to describe it. But Pagani, you can very much tell, is getting closer, because he's closer through these sections where the Aston Martin performs worse. And then in sections like these, he gets real close to he's going to get real close to the back bumper of that Mercedes.
Yes, indeed. If you guys are enjoying the stream, do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button here at SFRGT Challenge. It helps out a ton. And the stream, of course, is also brought to you by SimStaff. Thank you very much to SimStaff for sponsoring this league, as well as Coach Dave. But SimStaff, if you're ready to turn your passion for sim racing into a profession, SimStaff is on the lookout for talented sim racers and enthusiasts like you. Join them in shaping the future of sim racing. Head on down to the link in the description and sign up and tell them that SFRGT sent you.
Absolutely check it out if you want to support yourself and the series, as it helps out a bunch. 13 drivers here tonight, and doing things like that can make sure these grids are more packed and full. And if you're watching right now and you have a wheel, why not jump in?
Absolutely. Head on over to the sim grid. There's a few more rounds left in this championship. You'd be joining mostly just for fun. But still, to get out there with these drivers every race is a good experience. I think the next track is going to be voted on, so I don't even think anyone knows what it's going to be yet.
Yeah, unsure. It says Coda, but it's just a filler. I mentioned it earlier. Ooh, Patrick Dubois is off, and he'll have 2 cars go around. I'm curious to see what happened, but that'll give him position to Pagani and Tiller.
He just dropped it in the first sector. We'll go back and take a look at it here, as it is going to be a pretty small mistake, but big as the results here.
Looks like he did the same thing the Porsche did, to a much less extent. He's going to lose time, but not as much time as the Porsche does. So he gets very close to that Mercedes, but he's just going to lose some time. Fast driver, going to now be working behind another Aston Martin.
Ooh, a little bit loose there was Pagani on the exit of Degna. I mean, that was 30 seconds in the past, so it's old news. Here we have three closest on track. It has calmed down at this current moment. The drivers are going to be looking at that pit stop phase here coming in relatively soon. We're approaching that halfway mark, and that's when I think the bulk of the drivers are going to be coming in.
Yeah, definitely going to be a lot of differing strategies here, but it should not matter too much for two drivers who we rarely mention in the series because they're just so good. Costa and Vinicius competing with only each other, it feels like some days, and sometimes Lucas Costa is not competing with anybody as you look behind him and do not see a car. Costa maybe a bit wide there. He'll hit the hairpin, and honestly, it's very fun to watch Lucas Costa on board. If you do have the ability to get the replays for this race, I would always hop on board with Lucas Costa if you're trying to learn how to drive. Very good driver, and watching what he does, his wheel inputs, it's definitely a good thing to do.
I don't know about that. That's a bold call, Cotton. I don't think you should. Just for approach, just the heads. Don't copy Lucas Costa. You're not.
Oh, well, that's sorry.
You're not.
Hold on.
You're setting the standards a bit. I wouldn't look at Lucas. He's a bit. You're trying to learn high-level magic tricks here, and you haven't even mastered a flourish. So like, we gotta slow down here for a moment.
Let me defend myself in saying, do not compare yourself to Lucas Costa. That is not what I mean. I mean, watch Lucas Costa drive, and it's a lot of interesting stuff to watch his wheel inputs. But everyone is different, much different ways of driving. And you're not going to be Lucas Costa without lots of years of experience. Lucas Costa has those years of experience, a very, very rapid driver, and there's reasons he is, and that is the big magical word that not a lot of fifth graders like to hear at flag football practice. Practice.
Yep, practice makes perfect, and Lucas has a lot of it, and it shows. He's the only driver in 2 minutes, so smashing it. 20 seconds ahead of Vinicius. Oh my goodness, and it's just insanity.
Yeah, you see that a lot with these
5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, he's just so fast. Is Pagani finally, after feels like weeks of trying to get behind that Mercedes is a poor run. Yeah, Aston Martin's going to be all over it. Maybe going to try and make it work on the inside. Looks like the Mercedes is running the outside, but Pagani's not going to have enough speed to make a dive. It won't seem. He'll just ride behind the Merc.
Interesting. I would have thought he would go for it, but fair enough. Didn't see the moment, didn't see the opportunity. Be interested to see if either of these drivers comes in this lap.
You've got 42 minutes of opportunity, and to be honest, Pagani should come in here soon. That Aston Martin, I think, is just getting either slowed down on the straights, or just it'd be nice to have some open air for him, and maybe a bit of an undercut of that Mercedes. He's definitely faster than the Mercedes, but I think the car difference is just kind of getting to him in the turns, or the Mercedes Tillery is just taking the turns better.
Yeah, Tillery may need to come in for a pit stop himself. He was a second off of his quickest lap last time around, or just about. So was Pagani, but Pagani is bottlenecked. I don't know. I'd like to see maybe something different out of Todd here. I feel like there's more in it for him. I think there's more pace there, but he maybe just used the tires of the AMG, which is a surprise because the AMG is typically not a car that uses its tires that aggressively.
Could be that, or he's doing the opposite and trying to go very long on those tires, and is not just pushing the car as hard as it can go. But Pagani not feeling that, as he is just stuck in that rear bumper, and I think he'll get a chance with how close he's been through these turns in this, not upcoming straightaway, but the one after 130R in the historical Casio. Goodness me.
I'm sure you could get away with Casio.
Yeah, that's
in some parts.
Casino you can't get away with because there's no N in that word.
You're adding syllables there, but no, I think Casio probably in some parts of the world is right. So I'll give you that one.
That's fair. Totally is. Mercedes is a little bit of a weird run. Pagani, I think, gonna definitely have a better one, but he's farther back than he was before. Talking down, trying to get that draft here. He might have a chance on the inside. Won't take it. It'll be a calm, relaxed turn one. By that I mean as fast as he can go, trying to find it through, and relaxed as anything but he does as he just slips alongside the Mercedes. He's going to have the worst section through here. He'll try and push the envelope outside, back to the outside once again, trying to make it work. He's going to go all the way around, side by side once again, and I believe he is past the Mercedes. Tiger can't fight off Pagani.
What a battle. Pagani able to make it stick here into the S's with side-by-side back-and-forth action throughout. Todd Tillery's got no response, and he's going to be under pressure now from Patrick Dubois.
Immediately, Dubois too, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Merc puts pressure on the car ahead too. We'll see how this battle turns out. It's going to be immediately, I think, a three-way battle for that fourth position. Dubois going to have big pressure here, trying to move alongside. And inside, he's definitely faster in the inside. Ooh, he hits the back end. The car turns. Dubois stops the car. Mercedes will stay ahead. Those two will leave Pagani now, and they'll be battling on their own as Pagani definitely benefits out of that.
I read the entire mind of Patrick Dubois through that encounter, and I would have done the exact same thing to a T that he did. That was... I mean, yeah, he saw an opportunity, and then he saw that the opportunity wasn't there, but he was like, well, I'm committed and don't got much of a choice at this point. And kind of had to sent it right into the back bumper there of Todd Tillery and says, well, that was my bad, and hands it right back. So fair play to Patrick, and fair play to Todd.
Yeah, definitely. I'm an inexperienced racer and a commentator compared to you, Mike, but I'm starting to get those instincts, and I kind of felt like that was about to happen as Dubois. Much different line than the Mercedes here. He's going to get a much, much better exit, I believe. They'll be giving him pressure in turn one. As that Mercedes, every single lap has done that, staying real close to that wall. I'm not really sure why. They only lose time. And now Dubois is going to have that outside line, but will be alongside the Merc, I believe, turn one. No, he won't.
Yes.
Drag race, Dubois comes out on top.
Yeah. Dubois, you know, you always hear take the shortest line possible. Take the line of least resistance is the best advice typically. That one is a perfect example of Dubois taking the line of least resistance and getting the best exit. Todd Tillery minimizing the track and getting a poor exit, and well, that's the result. Slow is fast, and fast is slow.
Yeah, that's rough for Todd there.
Ooh! Well, Patrick's going to hand it back.
Arises. He will now be stuck chasing that Mercedes again. I was chasing Pagani earlier, and now he's behind Tillery. He'll have some work to do. It's kind of an understatement there.
That's good. Patrick's got the pace. We're going to see this overtake happen again.
Hopefully. I don't want to see it happen. Well, the other thing happen again either. Wouldn't like to see Todd go sideways.
Mike Gravelle has found himself in a pack of cars that he is not currently really in the same race with. Mike has yet to make a pit stop. The cars around him have. But hey, the battle's a battle. Got Rocky Rocco.
Yeah, Rocco's a little bit held up. You can see the difference in lines between him and the Porsche. And that boils down to experience. Rocco is much faster through the section, but you can't really just, even with back markers, you can't really in the like an F1 where they are forced to let you pass. Gravelle doesn't have to do anything except, you know, beat a safe driver.
Yeah, I mean, this is 4 positions, so there is no, there's no whatever. This is a battle for position, and it would be treated as such under any ruling. But I gotta say, Mike Gravelle, great improvements throughout this season. If you guys are interested, head on over to YouTube. Gravel Trap Racing. He's live on YouTube now, I would imagine. You can pop that up alongside ours. Hit that like button while you're at it on both our streams, and subscribe. It's Rocky Rocco.
Yeah, you love to see.
Makes pretty easy work there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you love to see guys like Gravelle, as he does get overtaken there, unfortunately, but very hard worker. Improved a lot throughout the year as Dubois. The Aston Martin, after that little trip in the kitty litter, will head back to the pits, and behind him, the Porsche of, I believe, that is Eller. These are our third and fourth stops. Lucas Costa still reigns ahead. 36 minutes now remaining. We've been here. Wow, we've almost been here. We've been here 45 minutes. That is not felt like 45 minutes at all. I'm sure has for these drivers like Lucas Costa, but not a moment not leading yet, as Lucas Costa, I believe, has already pit. He's in third because he already pit. Pagani and Tillery are not ahead of him. Unfortunately for their two fans. Or, sorry, not their two fans. Fans of the two drivers. I'm sure they have many more fans. I'm so sorry, guys.
Honestly, you probably could have got away with it with the language difference.
Either way.
Oh, obrigado, Brazil. Love you guys. Thank you all so much for watching from all of the countries all around the world. You guys really warm our hearts, especially when we see all of those chats. Especially the people that, like I say, that don't speak that good of English. You guys are the real troopers. Thank you. I mean, just thank you. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really cool to see, especially coming from high school sports broadcasting to this. That's a lot different as Hamoud all over that back bumper of his fellow Porsche. He's going to have a run here momentarily, but Brazil fans are so crazy to see in my chats and being able to read their text, and even though they aren't that good as English, you mentioned, still supporting these events is, whoa, real wide there, very fast. Hamoud's still on the back bumper, a bit of a different line, but yeah, thank you guys so much for the support.
And Fall Wizard saying America #1, I have to agree with you, but the rest of the world is, you know, it's a close second, right? We got to have the neutral opinions here. But, you know, we can't have the fully neutral opinion.
Thank you for your opinion, Colin. But
it's true though. I mean, you know, we're American.
Yeah, we're American. I'll give it to him.
Home country #1.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of Brazilian support here, and we definitely appreciate that. And Brazil #1 right now, Lucas Costa. Gosh, he's so fast.
Actually, I don't know if I'm not sure where Pagani is from, to be completely honest. But with the name Guilherme, I think he is Portuguese.
I will
or Brazilian.
Jump into that. He does not have a flag on his profile, but he is 4th in the championship. Very fast.
Oh, wait. It says Portugal and his name.
Oh, yeah.
He's from Portugal. All right, well, he's Portuguese then. I was right.
Good job. fair context clues, Carson. That was another Carson Kass context clue master
to be fair,
class.
that was...
Goodness.
I'm guilty on that one, too. So.
Yeah, the emoji threw me off really hard.
But yep, from Portugal. Canada #1? No. Canada.
Yeah, I can't.
It's above us, technically, but not, you know.
Yeah, that's also true. Not on any leaderboard I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, Rocky Rocco, pressure to the other Ferrari ahead.
They got the country size over us.
Yeah, we love you, Canadians, though. Your support is always welcome. And I see a lot of Canadians, obviously, in these North American series because they're from North America. But either way.
And there it is, the Brazil #1. It had to come at some point.
I was hoping.
I love it.
I was hoping.
I love the country. I love national representation. People that are proud of their countries is awesome. You know, deservedly so. Everyone should be proud of where they're from.
I've never seen a group of people more proud than Brazilians, though I have to be honest.
Maybe there's a close argument, I think, that could possibly be made. Who was it? What am I trying to think here? Japanese people, for one. I think Japanese people are a close second, actually. They're pretty crazy. They go hard, but Portuguese go extremely hard for the Brazil. My favorite Grand Prix probably is like the 1976 Brazil Grand Prix. Just seeing the pre-show alone is just like, holy smokes. They do it different down there.
Yeah, Brazil is always just an absolutely wonderful race for F1, and I wish that track was in this game so much. It was such a fun track. And hopefully one day ACC can add that, but ACC did just add, like you mentioned, the behemoth of all sim racing, the Nürburgring.
Yeah, I unfortunately doubt we will ever see the track in Sao Paulo, as much as I would love to see Portimao. Wait, Portimao. No, what am I saying? Not Portimao. Rodrigo Hermanos? No, that's Mexico.
Yeah,
oh no.
I can't help you. I'm very
Hermanos
sorry.
Rodriguez?
I cannot help you on this one.
No, what is the Brazilian stadium called?
Okay. Well, Mike looks it up on track. Before your eyes, Rocky Rocco pressuring the back of the Silva vehicle. That Ferrari is prancing forward, but not prancing faster than a Rocco. Getting closer to that back bumper every time. Interlagos. You're so right.
So
I should have known. We should have known. We're so sorry.
That's all right. Autodromo de Interlagos.
Isn't there an That's Yell at the back? Am I
No, that's wrong language.
wrong language? Sorry. So sorry. Either way.
Also,
Kass,
that just depends on the track.
Kass in chat. I like your name, but a bit of a Brazil versus America argument, and Fall Wizard has lost it going, to be honest, I would move to Canada, which is fair.
I'm completely capping. I love the subtext in that comment. It's all right. You can tell the age as well of the commenter as well.
Yeah, it's really amazing how just variance there is in the sim racing community, because I was on iRacing and I'm pretty sure I was being raced by an 8-year-old and handily beat, by the way. Handily beat. That 8-year-old was crushing me. And then I heard like a very old man start talking, and it's just, I had that moment of realization that everybody loves racing, and I don't think that's something that ever ends for a lot of people, and it starts very early, and it's just another beauty about this community. It's just everyone's involved, no matter who you are.
What's that supposed to mean, brother? Means that I can tell that you're friends with Carson, that's all.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Rocky Rocco has found the back bumper of Evelazio Silva, and Silva 10 seconds behind Mo Hamoud. Everybody here has made their pit stops, barring Mike Gravelle and Anthony Macho Man Camacho, who's in pit lane currently.
Man, what a nickname. That's such a good nickname. Rocco, pretty similar to Silva. I don't know how the lap times are going, but I believe he's just slowly inching forward, trying to chase down that Ferrari like his own. Is like that back end was really loose in that turn, if I'm not wrong.
Lap times are 35 thousandths different, so...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They have been... I don't think they have moved their bumpers away from each other by any sort of feat, but Rocco definitely better run. In that section there, had a better exit out of the corner behind the hairpin.
So I was reading chat there. Brazil equals Senna, Pele, Ronaldo, Lucas Costa, and Sao Paulo FC. You love it. That's
Christian Pulisic, my goat. He's my goat. Nobody else's, unfortunately.
Lucas Costa seems to be a lot of people's goat here tonight, and he is definitely been putting goat milk in his cereal in the morning, because he is 34 seconds ahead of Marcos Vinicius.
I've never heard that expression once. I know why you used it, but I don't know if there's any benefits to goat milk. That's something I would have to research, but if Lucas Costa is drinking it, maybe you should too, because that man is fast.
Battle, though, rages on between the 647 and the 38 here. This is the overspeed and the slipstream for Rocky in equal machinery. Checks to the inside, but is far too away to make anything happen, and he's maybe a bit deep. He'll get a good exit here, though.
Yeah, you kind of want to get that fake out if you can. Maybe they'll give you room and you can take that, but Rocco given no room, and he will be behind through the snake.
Mike Gravelle under some serious pressure here, as there is an aggressive Aston Martin looming onto the inside, now the outside, heading into the S's here. Mike's onto the grass, and he is going to have to give that up.
Yeah, Gravelle is on old tires, I believe. I think I would guess Dubo took new tires. Everyone should take new tires. I think an hour and 20 minutes on tires at Suzuka can be kind of rough, and I would assume nobody took them. But I feel like it's just putting yourself at a disadvantage with 5 seconds. I don't think you're gonna you're gonna lose much more than 5 seconds, rather. As Fall Wizard, what do you mean that was clean? What are you referring to there?
Was he talking about he might have been talking about the goat. I'm not sure. But
I think it was before goat milk. But yeah, Rocky Rocco still putting pressure on this back bumper. He's just been so close, but so far it feels like that back bumper of Silva has not moved any closer or farther, it feels, but this is going to be a way better exit for him. No, it isn't. Whoopsies.
It's equal machinery, man. It gets you every time. You think about it, and it just... Oh, no, it is. He's going to send it to the inside of 130R, but he is not even close to being enough alongside. But it spooks the like of Silva. Doesn't matter. Silva's a bit too far gone.
I'd be pretty scared too if I saw Rocky Rocco on my inside at 130R. That is a fast driver, and I know I'm about to crash into him because I'm not very good at racing, but obviously different for Silva, who is pretty good. As Gravel goes off, bit of a speed boost, gonna stay ahead of Tillery.
Oh, this is a switchback of dreams here. He had to hit his brakes there, unfortunately, at the beginning, but I think he's still going to get a good enough exit. He might have had to hit his brakes again mid-corner. Mike Gravelli, get into the pit lane, brother. You are you're like 2 seconds off your pace right now.
As far as I'm concerned, clean air all the way. Go on, Gravelli. Please hit the pits, though, at some point soon. And yes, Fall Wizard was complimenting your goat milk comment.
Love it. I can't even remember where I heard that from. It's great.
I really don't know if goat milk goes well with cereal, but what does go well with Suzuka is overtakes, and Tillery's still all over the back bumper of Gravel.
This is going to have to stay this way for Sector 1, more or less, throughout the entirety of it. Once you get towards Dunlop, there is a chance. Looks like there's almost rain on the rear wing of that car. As much as I want that to be the case, it isn't. Flash of the headlights. Whoa, that was a bold send there from Todd Tillery. He flashed his headlights to say, I'm going to be coming by this corner. And Mike Gravelli said, I don't really care that much.
Yeah, and that lack of caring may have got them both sent to the wall, but the car decides to go wide instead of into Michael Gravelli. So very good for him to stay ahead and not stay into a barrier. But yeah, at least he flashed the lights before he made a very, very dangerous move.
I don't see the benefit of it. Like I say, I can see the thought process. I don't see the the execution happening.
Here I come. That's what he was saying, I believe.
I'm coming whether you like it or not. And yeah, Mike didn't care. Whoa, Rocky, no! Oh, Rocky!
Rocky.
Oh, no, Rocky, no! Oh, Rocky!
Rocky!
No!
Rocky tried to, I think Rocky saw Pagani there and he realized he was going to lose more positions and floored it and lost it immediately. Oh my goodness, I couldn't contain myself. I just made a very weird laugh noise. He bumps into the back, Silva goes around, Rocky sees Pagani, floors it and loses the car, and he drives right into Rocco.
He tried so hard to get out of the way. He tried so hard and got so far, and in the end it didn't even matter. He still messed up Pagani.
That's
too bad.
That is an incredible, unlucky sequence of events there. That is just, wow. Rocky Rocco, not his proudest moment. He will remain ahead of Dubois, but I believe the other two drivers stick ahead of him.
That was hilarious, man. I love to put myself in the driver's shoes because I can, like I say, first off, you can see how bad he felt from hitting the car into the corner, and then he sees Pagani approaching in the rear view and says, oh shoot, I got to get out of the road, and he doesn't. He doesn't. He didn't get out of the road.
Yeah, I mean, the car slid and he accidentally just blocked the entire road. That was quite hilarious. I cannot lie. I don't know what you're saying, Silva, but I'm sure it's agreeing. I'm gonna plug that into Google Translate in a moment. But again, I love that representation from other places in the world. It's so cool coming from a Midwestern caster that normally gets views from people's grandparents.
Yeah, Rocky is saying that Rocky got sent to the Shadow Realm, basically, is more or less what he's saying there. And yeah, Rocky did get sent to the Shadow Realm. That was to put it in English terms.
Yeah, that was rough for everybody involved, but no real winners. I gotta say that much. That's the second time Rocky's done that tonight, and that's rough. With 20 minutes left, that is not where you want to be. 2 positions down from where you were, 5th place. Rocky obviously still fighting for positions in the championship, but he is very close with Saldana and nobody else really, as there's a big gap ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, we might as well, while we have a little bit of an opportunity, why don't we pull up that championship here for a quick moment. As we can see, Lucas Costa heading the championship here at 267 points, with Marcos Vinicius behind in 2nd. Joel Bandera 3rd here, with Guilherme Pagani from Portugal in 4th, Mohamud in 5th. Rocky Rocco all the way down there in 9th, but he is only 2 points behind Marcos Saldana, so it's very doable there. And Jelson Cruz also in reach. This is round 6 here of the SFRGT Challenge standings. Now back to the action.
Yeah, 4 through 7 all locked up together. Tonight is very, very important for all of them. And right now, it's not looking great for Jelson Cruz, particularly because he isn't here. Mudo looking pretty good. 4th position overall. He's ahead of everyone behind him. He'll be hot on the tail of Joel Bandera, who is currently residing in 3rd place with that, as you saw, dabbing cat as the profile picture.
Yeah. And let's try to keep chat to mostly English. I mean, obviously, if you can't, it's all good. You know, like it's fine. But
yeah, that's Korean. Colin is learning that in 1992 race.
Oh,
in
goodness.
Interlagos. Wow.
That was when they yeah, that's never. You know, that's one thing about Interlagos, right? Is as cool of a race as it would be to go to and win, like, it would suck if you weren't Brazilian, because no matter what you do, even if you're just not Brazilian, you're just gonna get booed on the podium. I think I remember seeing Nigel Mansell get booed on the podium in that race. I wasn't alive during that race, but I think I remember that. And yeah, it's hilarious. I mean, there's not many places like that. Italy, I guess, is another one that would be a great example of that.
Italy isn't all that much like that too, but they're normally, I think, used to a lot of pain in their drivers more recently. But yeah, especially with Ayrton Senna in 3rd, that was not not great for Nigel Mansell when he hit that podium. Yes, Mike was in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
No, Jesus, I was not in. I was not born in 1992. I was born in 2000. So I've never been to Brazil. I'd love to go. I'd love to go to Brazil. That place, like I say, it looks like so much fun. Minus like the political instabilities and stuff, which I know is quite a problem down there. But still a great country.
Yeah, definitely looks like a lot of fun. Yes, he was actually not there. That was a lie, guys. I'm sorry, but
I wish. I wish.
I wish I was at Sao Paulo in 1992, Mike. Cannot lie.
Be hanging out with Jesus down there and Lucas. Actually, I don't even know if Lucas was alive. I think Lucas is sort of my age, if I remember right.
Yeah, I have no proportion for any of the drivers of these age. They could be 72 for as far as I know. I'm going to assume not.
There's only one that I know of that's 72. Oh my goodness, Marcos Vinicius is off. That's our podium sitter here. Marcos Vinicius has bended. He was in 2nd place.
Yeah,
what has happened?
Look here. He's going through 130R. Technical corner might have gone wide, which is what I'm going to guess.
He bottomed out. Yep, he bottomed out in the first part of the corner. It's the most common thing that can happen there, especially in a Ferrari or a McLaren.
Yeah, you hit that little curb there in the car. You don't have much control over it, and Vinicius damage in 4th place. Pagani way far there behind. See the camera goes wide, and Pagani hasn't hit the straight yet.
That might change everything. Joel Bandera might take P2 in the championship. Maybe. No, Joel Bandera needs a better finish. What am I talking about? He's down in the dumps right now with a not so showroom ready McLaren at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, Hamoud is, I believe, that 3rd place or 5th place driver right now, and he is a hard charger right now. 3rd place.
Yeah, found himself on the podium for free. I don't think he'll complain at all.
Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't be very upset. Rocky Rocco, how long has he been behind Silva? I mean, Silva just, I don't know what he did. He locked in. Rocco got behind him, and his lap times immediately got better.
Rocky's still quicker, to be honest.
Ooh.
His lap times 2:03.1 to a 2:04.1, so Evalazio needs to pick up the pace here. But yeah, he has been behind him for, it seems like, an awful while. I wonder if he was ahead at one point.
Yeah, that would not be surprising as we talk about completely random things while drivers are overtaking. We miss it sometimes. It happens. We're human. And these guys are very fast, and a lot of things can happen very, very quickly. But Rocky Rocco, 7th for now. Silva still ahead, just by running a full 2nd floor. And that's kind of the problem you see with Equal Machinery. Is sometimes it's so hard to overtake a driver who's very similar in skill. And despite you two being probably good enough for 5th or 4th, just based on how good you guys placed in pole. Goodness me. How good you guys placed in quali?
Yeah, Rocky's just been a struggle with consistency at this point of the race. It's really been just keeping all 4 tires facing the right way and on the car at all times. That's the real goal here to the end for the next 15:38.
What I can tell you that he is consistent with and that he always wins in is that livery design. We mentioned it earlier, about an hour ago, but my goodness, looking at that car is so nice. I was really afraid he was going to bottom out. I actually was about to cry. As he spawned up the car.
Crumpled livery.
So good, and that car is not showroom ready, but it is not as bad as it would have been if it hit a wall there.
Rocco, the Rockefeller Racing Machinery, the Cavallino Rampanti. Not going to be making anything happen here yet. I guess the two they're both prancing horses.
Yeah, still prancing 7th for the American. Behind the wheel of a Ferrari. Kind of a weird theme I see a lot with Ferrari and Americans working together. Obviously, Ferrari doesn't have much input whether Rocky Rocco is driving their car or not in the video game, but it is a weird thing I notice a lot.
Fair enough. I'm not sure I've noticed that. Rocky Rocco, though, not going to be finding anything in the S's, that's for sure, unless there's a mistake. We saw Silva make a mistake here earlier. It's definitely possible, as he's quicker. You can see Rocky is running more downforce, but that's not going to help him on the overtake.
Yeah, that could be really rough here. A mistake by Silva, and he strikes down that inside line. He'll go ahead.
As I say it, he isn't going to make the overtake. He does. It's just textbook commentator.
No, I mean, like, it happens. It happens to all of us, unfortunately. But if I could be perfect, I probably... If everybody could be perfect, I would not be sitting here, unfortunately.
That definitely was going to be our most exciting battle, though.
Yeah, that's a little rough, but one man in chat very happy, Fall Wizard, who had his vote, still has his vote, and he gets ahead, as now Dubois kind of getting closer. If I can kind of tell, that other Rockefeller Racing car just inching closer to the two pair who were battling and losing time, but I'm not sure Rocco's going to be losing much time running a full second faster than the car behind.
Yeah, and Ivelazio coming into grips here. We can see his lap time was 0.3 different last lap, and that was with scrapping. He's got some clean air now. Maybe he can improve that pace. See if Patrick, though, he's reeling him in slowly.
Yeah, he'll need to pick up the pace with 13 minutes to go. That's about an amount of laps.
I was about to say, I don't even know why you tried.
I think it's 5.
It's something like that. I don't know. Oh, no. Ivelazio's deep, but that's going to be fine for now. Patrick Dubois, though, he smells blood in the water. I wonder if that's a tire issue. We saw Ivelazio. He did take tires, so it shouldn't be too much of a difference between him and Patrick Dubois at this current stage. But Patrick Dubois, he is on about 10-minute-old fresher, actually about 15-minute-old fresher rubber. So it could be a difference, but...
My goodness, he is gaining tons of times to the S's, which is a little bit uncharacteristic for that Aston Martin.
Still, that is the most difficult place to make an overtake happen. We saw one here through the second Degna last time around, as Ivelazio went deep. He does go deep again, but able to hold on for now. We see a flash of the headlights. You know what that means when you see a flash of the headlights from an Aston.
That means danger close as, oh no, Silva off the track to the right side. Didn't matter. Patrick Dubois scared him off the track, unfortunately. Those headlights are scary, but Dubois going to get around. Those two Rockefeller Racing drivers are going to go 6, 7 and leave Dubois, or rather Silva, 8.
I can already hear the commenters now. Ban the flashing of headlights. It's too distracting. No, it's fine, chat. It's fine.
Close your eyes. Actually, don't do that. No, wait, sorry. I didn't think about that.
Close your eyes.
That is...
Never close your eyes when you're behind a wheel, especially traveling at 180 miles an hour. It's not brilliant.
Should you ever find yourself in a Ferrari at a hairpin at Suzuka, open your eyes is my general consensus. Despite what I said, I'd like to retract that statement. As you were on Mohamed for a second, I want to jump back to that. That is a great finish for him. I just accidentally closed the standings, but I'd like to see how his finishes have been all year.
He is catching to Allure. We haven't mentioned too much.
Yeah, Lure
Reardon-
had some... Oh, sorry, you go.
The Reardon Racing Porsche, the 448 here, the Brazilian. Why don't you tell us a little bit about his previous results?
Yeah, Mo would tie his season best, round 4, the second race of the year, so round 2 actually, with a 3rd place. And that'd be big for him in the championship, as he's only 4 points ahead of Guilherme Pagani, who is 2 whole positions behind him, and that would put him just ahead. As yeah, we don't talk about Allaire, and I'm very glad we haven't had to, haven't had to in the way we used to. Silverstone was very rough for him, but very clean race from him so far. He's pressured by Todd Tillery, the Tango 13 machine.
Yeah, Todd, not the greatest race. We've seen the struggles. As it stands, though, he's dead even where he started, so that's fair enough. Biggest loser tonight, Joel Bandera, 8 positions. Biggest gainer, Miles Jr. up 5 into P2. He's going to be really happy after this.
Yeah, he's got to finish 10 more minutes, though. Looks like a random Porsche appearance. How about his brother, and how about his manufacturer brother here? He's going to slow down Todd Tillery, and Todd goes completely off the track into the dirt. He's going to lose a lot of time to Eller, who he was catching steadily.
That is target fixation right there, folks. Just keep an eye on the road. Don't keep an eye on the car that's ahead of you.
Keep him open, too. A lot of... Oh, no! The car slides, nearly loses it. Tillery saves it, though. Weird reaction from me, but I was genuinely concerned. Tillery, good job saving that car. Not a great lap here.
No, not at all. And Allure is going to be now 3.5 seconds ahead without too much of an issue. Todd Tillery, though, second lap faster. In fact, a second and a bit. So, definitely can't catch.
I was going to say, I believe we have just over 3 laps left, so Tiller's got a peep game lock in here. I believe 3 laps would be kind of about what I'm saying. I don't have the times, unfortunately, but I'd guess.
Velasio Silva going to be maybe, or no, excuse me, I should say Patrick Dubois catching up to his teammate Rocky Rocco again. They've managed to find a relatively similar pace to each other. The two Rockefeller Racing teammates.
Yeah, Dubois looking a little bit faster, hawking down his boss's bumper there. As last thing he wants to do is do what Rocky did to him, or not did to him, did to another driver earlier in this race. Could result in some, not some choice words. I think these two are very nice guys, but would definitely result in a little bit of disappointment for the team. Just want to keep it clean, keep it in the lines. 7 more minutes, hour and 20, and you are doing pretty well for Dubois, I believe, and Rocco, rekindled this race from what it was pretty well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. For the downs that had happened in this race, obviously hitting 2 people is not ideal, but hitting 3 people, that's right. Can't forget about Pagani. Yeah, definitely not where you want to be, but still, he's mostly showroom ready. A little bit deep there through 130R. Going to be pushing those track limits. Needs to be careful of a drive-through penalty at this rate.
Yeah, there's not much you're going to gain. I don't think he's too close to Pagani. So you just want to keep it safe. And honestly, if you want to keep it ahead of your driver, that's very good. But I would honestly let the car behind you pass if you're really going that hard to the point where you might lose the car, lose some positions. Last thing you want to do, like we said, just keep the car intact.
Obviously, telling a racing driver that is optimistic and wishful thinking. Tell a racing driver to slow down. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually a very good example of that. Last night, I did anything but keep the car on track, and even when I was off track, foot still to the floor. You know,
the mind, it does some crazy stuff, and sometimes it gets a little fixated again at things, and it can be a problem. What has happened here? Do we have a disconnect? I missed that? Do we have a disconnect?
Oh, I believe we still have 13 on the scoreboard.
Okay. My scoreboard was just glitching. You love it.
The ACC scoreboard is the #1 enemy of the casters, as Dubois is really getting to that back bumper of Rocco, much to the dismay of Fall Wizard in chat.
Patrick slowly reeling him in and getting ever closer. The Aston Martin now in the distance, and that's a very intimidating Aston Martin to have in your rearview mirror.
Yeah, that has got some teeth. It goes a little bit wide there. And Jesus Gomez saying you're welcome for Lucas Costa winning the race to Silva, Anderson Silva in chat. That is pretty funny. Thought I'd highlight that.
Again, language barriers, we accept them all. They're all good. No, I issues at all.
I think he's right. I mean, Costa Costa is here. As Rocco, goodness me. That is one scary car to have on your bumper, and I'm sure he knows. Curious to see if we're going to see the other Rockefeller racing cars get livery updates, as I would really like that. A lot of good cars and a lot of good liveries that, if an update, could be even better.
With 5 minutes left, Lucas Costa has, well, he's counting down the minutes. Walked away with this one. Stellar star performance once again for the young Brazilian driver.
An hour and 15 minutes remaining, or sorry, gosh, an hour and 15 minutes left. Oh my, an hour and 15 minutes passed so far for Lucas Costa. And with 5 minutes left, a quick reminder, the stream is brought to you by SimStaff. SimStaff is hiring and they want you. Whether you're a seasoned sim racer or just starting out, here's your chance to dive into the racing industry. Apply now and kickstart your journey with SimStaff.
And do use the link in the description. Tell them SFRGT sent you as well.
Like we mentioned, supports the community. There's a yellow out on track. Looks like one of the back markers behind Costa. Ugh, Gravel. Hate to see it. Gravel in the wall. Tire barrier. Getting familiar with the fans right there is Dubois. Still putting pressure on his boss.
Rule number 1, don't hit your teammate. Rule number 0, don't hit your team principal. Let's see if he can keep that true.
The last thing you want to be doing in the last lap is be learning a lesson about what to do and what not to do when your boss is in front of you. And with 3 minutes and 12 seconds, it should be one more time round for these drivers. And it has been a great race at Suzuka. A lot of pace, a lot of fun moments. Luckily not a lot of severe crashing, as we had one race that was a really, really rough lap 1, but very skilled drivers, very uncharacteristic. As I'm so sorry, Patrick Dubois. That is my fault. I just totally cursed you. As the moment I said clean driving, and went off the track, but that'll certainly short circuit his hopes for 6th place. Yeah,
that's just how it goes sometimes. Sorry, Patrick. Blame Carson. It's all good. He's the reason. Evalazio Silva also battling with his countryman Allure in P8.
Allure is 8th. Wow, I don't. How did Allure get up there? I believe he was 10th. He at some point passed Silva because he was 9th until he was chasing, and Silva was only 5 or 6 seconds ahead.
I think the damage on Silva has been maybe slowly working his pace down, because he was 2 seconds a lap slower last time around. So I think he is. I think we must just missed it actually.
Yeah, and definitely happens. Damage is rough. You can't really do much about it other than keep the car as fast as it can go, and Eller taking advantage of that. That's one better spot for him, and you know, whatever you can get. And ooh, Eller gets a drive-through penalty. The actual moment I say that.
Yep.
Eller will be on the final lap, making his way to the pits. That's a rough way to go.
They'll have to serve it this lap, and they will have the ability to serve it before Lucas comes across the line, so that'll be their best bet to do it, or they will be hit with a 30-second penalty post-race.
It's much faster to hit the pit lane, I believe, just in general, so I wouldn't chance it. Costa, I think we said he went deep when he did that earlier. I think that's just what he does. Very fast, very quick. The number 90 car, definitely number 1 at the end of this year with how this championship's been going. And the only way I could see someone overtaking him is if Lucas Costa does not show up next week or the week after.
I think even with that, at this point, because the result of not Silva, of the result of Vinicius, I think he will be. This will pretty much his championship secure. And Lucas Costa, I'm hoping he's lefting off. Okay, we're good. He's a second down on his time. He needs to be 3 seconds off his delta, I think, or else we will have another lap. It's going to be really, really close.
Oh, as he phases through the ground. Thank you, ACC on R33. Yeah, he'll he'll get a little slower there. I'm sure he's not looking to do an extra lap. He's a very smart driver.
We'll see.
There, and
2 seconds now. 2 seconds. Okay, he's gonna lift. He's gonna lift.
Please lift.
Please lift.
Please lift. Please lift. Please lift. Hits the line. Gets close.
All right, we got one more lap.
And we will see you at the end of this race in 2 minutes and something seconds.
Lucas, you just had to lift, buddy.
It's good for Eller, because I actually think the race may have ended for Eller. But,
also could be good for Patrick.
It's still a full second. 1.3, and the Ferrari is definitely... The Aston Martin has definitely turned challenge. Is he flashing his lights? Did I see that right? No, I think he just was bouncing. Apologies. Anyway, Miles Jr., second place, by the way. Let's just go point that out. Elephant in the room. That's his best finish of the season.
Yeah, excellent. Number 83 Porsche machinery here. Starting his final
lap. The Brazilian here in the Porsche machinery. It's a Brazilian one, too, but not the Brazilian we expected. But sure are many fans from below America and on the Southern Hemisphere will be very happy with that. Understandably, as Miles Jr. again running a nice car. A lot of nice cars here for such a smaller field. So many nice liveries out here. I always appreciate that whenever I come here on Fridays. Whenever I get to look at the on-product screen, it is very pretty, and there's no cars that just give me a pungent feel to look at, and that's always very nice.
No massive anime cars. It's always great to have.
I mean, I won't lie. There's some anime cars that are done extremely well, and there's a lot of that. There's like a lot more than that than I thought there would be, but there's some that I can't really get on board with.
Questionable at best.
Lucas Costa approaching the final few turns of this race. Behind him, I believe it's a Porsche. I think it's Miles Jr. on a lap down, but he will enter the last stretch in 1 hour and 20 minutes. Ending for him, that car is showroom ready in a museum because it's been that good. He'll cross the line first overall, pole to first. Not much different from Costa. And the Brazilian smoke erupts from the crowd.
Absolutely. The crowd goes wild again as the championship gets further extended by Lucas Costa. And it definitely is looking like a one-horse race up at the front where Lucas, more than likely, if he hasn't already mathematically secured the championship, definitely is looking that way in the next race.
Yeah, as long as he shows up next week, should be all good. Next week, I believe, is a fan vote, like you mentioned. And Miles Jr. will reach the line of his best finish of the season since round 4, where he finished P3. He'll finish P2. Behind him, another Porsche. The Canadian Mohamed also finishing there in that section was Joe Bandera, who did not have a good race. He'll finish 11th. Vinicius succumbed to some damage after a car bottomed out, but behind them, that's Silva and Tillery back on the other track, making a final fight for it. The final lap, Tillery trying to find his way. Silva goes wide. The damage on that car maybe just a little bit too much. They'll hit the straight. Tillery will go ahead, real close. Gonna have to slow down so he doesn't crash into the Ferrari. Ahead goes Silva. Tillery might have his last chance here, likely through 130R, but I'm curious if he's gonna have a chance before then. He's going to go a little bit slower. Does not want to overtake here, understandably. He's going to have a run, though. Silva goes a bit wide. Into the final corners. Here we go. Tillery, bit of a different line. Catching up to Silva, trying his best. He's going to be close to that back bumper. Going to have to make a move here, but Silva is just too quick. Tillery cut out by Silva. Damage, not enough to keep him behind. The Mercedes is going to chase, but it won't make it. And that'll be the final race. Costa Jr., Hammond, Vinicius, Pagani, Rocco, Dubose, Silva, Tillery, Camacho, Eller, Bandera, and Gravel will be your 13 drivers here finishing tonight. And that will be all we have in terms of racing here
Yes, indeed, as it has it. Lucas Costa extends his lead further and further again, and the crowd in the chat goes wild. Can't believe Rocky didn't win. Rocky had a tough one this time around, there is no doubt. But if you guys are curious, this is going to do it here for the night. Do join us next week. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. For you all in chat, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I've been Mike Nause, Carson Kass in the booth with me. Thank you again so much, Carson.
Thank you very much for having me.
Hope everyone has a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning wherever you are in this fine world. Thank you, and good night.